Hi guys, Marcus here. I wanted to make a quick video about a topic that I'm asked about a lot and that at first was quite confusing to me as well. That is the different connection methods for auto trading. Let's dive into it. So we've got first the term API. If you're a developer, you know what an API is, and likely, even if you're not, you've heard the term before. It stands for Application Programming Interface. In a very simplified way, that just means an API is the way two tools or programs talk to each other. Using an API for auto trading has a lot of benefits. It is typically rather fast. It also is very secure because you create credentials on one end and you input these credentials on the other end. That is a secure connection. The issue for some people is that it's not prop firm compatible. So no prop firm will open up API access to their accounts, so you cannot use an API tool to trade on prop firms. Also, by means of the connection, an API is detectable because since it's an interface, it's clear that you're using that interface, so the API will know where the signal comes from, meaning it knows you're auto trading. Then we have something called OAuth, which stands for Open Authorization. Now, it's technically not the opposite of an API or even the same level. Actually, OAuth often uses an API as well. Rather than a connection method, it is an authentication method. So I mentioned before that APIs typically use plainly visible credentials to connect. OAuth does not do that. It's a cool way of you inputting your credentials, but the receiving party does not see them. So typically you would log into Tradevate from whatever automation provider you use using your real credentials, but they don't see those credentials. Tradevate says, yep, it's okay, you can connect, but it doesn't show the credentials. It's a cool way. It's actually a very cool innovation. One of the issues is it's a bit of additional work to authenticate, so typically it's a bit slower. I'll show an example later, but it is very secure. It is prop firm compatible. There are companies that use OAuth that allow you to auto trade into prop firms, but it is also detectable because the prop firm will know which tool you used using OAuth to connect to the account. They can tell you're automating. This is an example I mentioned. So this is from Traders Post, a really cool company that uses OAuth to connect to Traders Post. It says here, it is recommended that you leave at least 1 to 5 minutes between signals. That's doable on certain strategies. It's not possible in most things I do. They say that because they struggle with fast consecutive signals. They're very open about it, but that can lead to troubles if you're using some of the faster strategies that I like to use. Then we have the ATS, the Automated Trading Suite. This is proprietary technology by QuantVue. It is very fast. You'll see an example later. It is highly secure. It is 100% prop firm compatible and the only solution that is completely undetectable. No prop firm will ever be able to tell that you're using automated trading if you use the ATS. Now, I've done a bit of a comparison test a couple of weeks ago, ATS versus OAuth. So I've used the QuantVue Automated Trading Suite versus TraderPost to run the exact same strategy on two identical accounts, two demo accounts. I'll quickly pull up an Excel sheet to show you. So you see here the average QuantVue ATS fill price, the average Traders Post fill price, and you immediately see that there's a bit of a difference. So we sold at 75, sold at 74 here. We lost one. We bought at 51.5, we bought at 53. We bought at 52.5, we bought at 54. So you see there's a little difference in every single trade because you can also see it in the timestamps. So this got executed at 35.30, Traders Post at 35.32. And remember, this comes off the exact same signal from TradingView. So there's no difference from the signal, it's just how fast it got executed. Here, 42.30, 42.31, and so on and so forth. So you see, it's not a huge difference. It's 1 to 2 seconds, but these points add up. Trust me, I know. I've experienced that very painfully. Let's go back to the presentation. So, API is also not always API. Yes, it is a standardized protocol, it's a standardized way of tools talking to each other, but there's very different implementations of APIs, faster versus slower. Let's have a quick look at the publicly accessible, if you're a QuantVue member, Google Sheet. for forward testing. So this is the current week. I hit most of the comments last week. I only left these two visible. So we have an interesting one here. We've got the same strategy by two real QuantVue users. One using Alert Dragon, that's a direct API. One using AutoTrading, that's also a direct API. So let's go over and look at the results. Everything is identical, runtime is identical, 5-minute chart, 1NQ. Ignore this one because there was an error in this one. But then, see, Alert Dragon, profit is a little bit higher. Alert Dragon, profit is $150 higher. No trades taken on Thursday. On Friday, TradingView, loss is a bit higher. So Alert Dragon, less loss. That's a great example of execution speed. Both use API, exactly the same strategy, but the profits are a bit higher and the loss is a bit lower when the API is faster. In summary, we've got the QuantVue ATS proprietary tech. It's very fast, 150 milliseconds. It's prop compatible, and no, it cannot be detected. We've got Alert Dragon, my favorite API provider, very fast as well. You can't do prop term companies with it, and yes, it can be detected, but this is my choice for my personal account. We've got Traders Post, uses OAuth. It is slow-ish, so 1 to 2 seconds. We saw it in the Excel sheet. It is prop firm compatible, but it can be detected. And then we got AutoTrading, which also is an API provider. It is slow. I haven't measured it, to be honest, but I know it's slower based on the results I saw. It is not prop firm compatible, and it is easily detectable. I hope this explains things. My personal choice, QuantVue for obviously the ATS, which is great, and a bunch of automated strategies. And I use Alert Dragon for API services. It's simple, it's affordable, it's fast. Those are the tools I use, and that's how I get the results I get. Thanks.